Okay, get into it now. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing a Mazda 3 hatchback. Before we get in this video though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Southtown Mazda here in Utah for giving me some time with this Mazda 3. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you have any questions or need any help, just ask for Jake. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 2.5 liter four-cylinder that goes through a 6-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 26 around town and then 33 on the highway, with power outputs being 191 horsepower and then 186 pound-feet of torque. Now before we go with the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Now taking a look at the hood, you guys can see that in normal Mazda fashion, very simplistic with the design. Flat in the center, and then you've got like those sharp lines on either side. Really cool daytime running lights there around the headlights, and then you guys can see this darker trim around the lights, and then that kind of leads into the grille. The darker trim is somewhat hidden because of the gray color on this particular Mazda 3. And putting it all together, although this gray color isn't my favorite color on the Mazda 3, I still think that this car looks really good. If you guys are wondering, I kind of like the white and the red a little bit more. Coming around the side here, our tire and wheel setup is 215, 45, 18 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see with the wheel design, the wheels are all blacked out and the spokes kind of have like a chunkier appearance, which is cool. And then here's a quick look at how the fender's molded. That looks pretty good. Body painted mirror, and then you guys can see we got some chrome trim right there around the windows. And then taking a look at the full side profile here with the hatchback design, it looks really cool. So here is our key fob for the Mazda 3. You guys can see that nothing on the back but the Mazda logo there on the front. And then on the side here we have our unlock and lock function. Now popping open the hatch is really easy. There's a button just under the Mazda logo, and you guys can see plenty of storage space here in the back. This is one of the biggest benefits to going for the hatchback, is the fact that you have all of this space. And we also have a built-in cargo cover as well, which is pretty cool. When you're all done, you can press this to lock it, or you can just plop. We've got pretty cool taillights here on the back end, and then you guys can see our Sky Active G badge, and then the Mazda 3 all-wheel drive badge on the other side. And then we actually have dual exhaust tips here at the bottom. And then when you put it all together, I really do dig the hatchback design here on the Mazda 3. I think it looks pretty dang sweet. Now taking a look at the door panel here, I love the red insert right there, and then you guys can see black down below. The two-tone design just works so well. And then look at these seats, and you guys can see perforated all down the center. Definitely lighten things up with this car, all the dark gray and everything. Yeah, legroom here in the back is fantastic, and then you guys can see we've got a little storage pocket there on the other seat. And then headroom back here is also great. And would you look at this? We got a cup holder armrest. Now taking a look at the front door panel here, again you guys can see the red trim, and look at all the padding down below. All of our window controls right there, and then you guys can see the mirror adjustment. Speaker for the Bose sound system with the door lock and unlock, and then we also have blind spot monitoring there in the mirror. With the front seat, again all red, you can see perforated down the center portion, and then we have our power adjustments there on the side. We've got that little button there for all of the safety tech to turn off, your stability control, and then our memory seat function down below that. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you guys can see really nice padding all around, and then you got the darker stitching there in the center portion. We have our cruise control here on the side with paddle shifters on the back for that 6-speed automatic. Volume controls, phone controls there on the other side. And then we have our turn signal light stock, and then our windshield wiper stock. Now taking a look at the gauge cluster here, you guys can see analog gauges on either side, and then we've got this little screen here in the center which we can use to scroll through different bits of info on the car, and we also have a sport mode that we can pop into, which is pretty fun. Now in reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines, and resolution is pretty solid. Now taking a look at the infotainment system, first off, response time is pretty solid. It is not a touchscreen, it's all controlled via a dial, and you know, it takes a second to get used to it, but once you do, it's pretty easy. We got more red here on the dash, which looks super sweet again with the two-tone design. And then look at the trim down below there with the vents and everything. That looks great as well. And then we have our dual zone climate controls, heated seats for the front, which we're gonna pop that one right on. We got more storage here up front, some cup holder action, and then our shifter for that 6-speed automatic. We got our drive mode select right next to it, and then you guys can see the controls for the infotainment system with the radio control, and then like your parking brake auto hold right next to that as well. And then the center console is pretty cool because it slides and then opens. Got some USBs and everything inside, so that's pretty fancy. I almost forgot, we got a glove box. And then we got a sunglass holder up top and a sunroof as well. Now here's a window sticker for this Mazda 3 hatchback. You guys can see this is with the premium package. Base MSRP is $30,400, and then total MSRP right there is $32,325. And with that being said, let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood, and hopefully you can now see the heads-up display. Both mirrors do blind spot monitoring, and then throughout the rest of the rear. And, well, let's set off here. And I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe there's a gap here that I can go through. Yes, look at this. We are slipping through secretly. Don't tell anyone. But first off, I just drove a Mazda 3 Turbo today as well. So I'm interested to see just how different the turbo versus the non-turbo feel, because you know, frankly, these are really close in price. If you just get like a, you know, just a turbo, that one was like $34,000, right? So it's not a huge price difference between the cars. And so I guess I guess we'll have to answer the question of, should you get this with this interior, all-wheel drive, non-turbo, or should you get the, you know, just the regular turbo interior and have the, obviously, the turbo engine? And the biggest difference I noticed with the interior is just the seats. These ones are a little bit more comfortable than the turbo seats. So that's kind of, I feel like, the biggest benefit to this package is just having these seats. But the turbo seats are still really comfortable. Everything else, though, feels pretty similar. Ride quality is good, just like the turbo. Initially, it pretty much drives like the same car, honestly. It's not really a whole lot of a difference between the cars. I like the braking feel as well with the Mazda 3. That is a decked out 4Runner. It's got like a snorkel and everything. There's another one next to it, man. 4Runners, they're taking over Utah. Everyone loves those things here. But let's get up and get moving a little bit here. I guess this fan's turning, so we'll have to slow down. Ooh, definitely a big difference in response. This doesn't have nearly as much torque, you can tell. So, got it in the sport mode here. See how that feels. Love the steering. Has that normal Mazda steering, which is really good. Okay, get into it now. Yeah, you know what? There's actually a pretty big difference. Bentayga, by the way, that's pretty cool. Yeah, there's actually a pretty big difference. It's substantial, honestly. Man, hope I don't get in trouble for this, but here's the deal. I'd rather just get the turbo. I feel like you get all the same functionality. Like, there's the only thing that I see that's different with this is the interior color compared to the turbo that I reviewed, and the seats are a little bit more comfortable in this. But like, aside from that, they're so similar. That turbo is such a bargain. So yeah, that's just my opinion. I still think this is a great car. And you know, frankly, when you compare this to, like, you know, Corolla hatchback, for example, and Civic hatchback as well, I'm talking about base hatchbacks, this feels more premium. This feels more upscale. Like, that's the thing that Mazda has going for them, is you get like a luxury car experience and interior, but you're not paying luxury car price, right? You're paying, you know, economy car price for a luxury car, which I think is very appealing. But yeah, with that being said, like, cool car, turbo's better. Let me know what you guys think.